Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about inquiries, leads, and when they do pan out, how to respond to clients, and what happens when they say they found somebody else. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for coming back. Today we're going to talk about leads, and today we're going to talk about wedding inquiries, and today we're going to talk about where they come from, where do they not come from, where is it a benefit, and where are you getting your work from. So every time I get a lead in some way, shape, or form, I always ask where it came from. 80% of my clientele that come to me are referred by a friend. My marketing and the bridal shows that I do also help with brand awareness. So a lot of times when I end up getting a bride to come in, the first thing that I'm going to do is like, hey, and this is understandable, what's your pricing? So I get that. Everybody has a budget, and I get that. It's what you do in response to all of that is how beneficial this is going to be. So when I first get a lead or when I first get an inquiry of some sort, if they come through my website, I can tell in the email they came directly from my website. If they get a general email or if they come to me via text or something like that, then I can always tell where it comes from. But I always ask, hey, thank you for reaching out to me. My name is Ron. Just out of curiosity, how did you hear of me? And what that does is it opens up a communication, because if they start and lead with a question, hey, what's your pricing? You are obligated to reply with an answer. So take that same philosophy and say, hey, thank you for reaching out to me. I appreciate that. How did you hear about me? Leave it with a question mark. Now they have to reply. If you just say, my prices are X, Y, and Z, and it can go, you got a 50-50 shot of either getting them to respond back to you, or wow, you're way too expensive, or wow, you're way too cheap, or whatever. I always want to engage in the couple. That way there I get a clear, and they get a clear expectation of what I do. And that's very important for me. So first thing I do is, hey, how did you hear about me? My next question is, once they reply back, oh, I heard from you from so-and-so, the Knot Wedding Wire or bridal show or whatever. Now I know where my target, my audience is coming from. So that helps me in the future, knowing that if I'm not getting any leads from that direction, it's time to remarket. But anyways, my second thing is, what's your wedding date? Because if I'm not available for your date, there's no point in you keeping a conversation going with me and me wasting your time trying to get more information from you. So if I am booked, I say, hey, call my friends, reach out to so-and-so, here's, a couple of ideas that might help you out. On a lot of times they already have 4 or 5 people that they're already looking at anyway. So you don't have to send them anybody, they just kind of know. So if I'm available, I tell them right away, yes, your date is available for now. That implies limited time window of your date being available. That's very important. You want people to come back, but they want them to know that, hey, I'm not holding this date for you forever. Once I get past that point, yes, I'm available. If I'm not available, it's a really nice text back or a really nice email back. I apologize for the inconvenience. By the way, look me up if you ever need family pictures in the future. If they've seen your website, there's something about your website, you, personality, whatever, that they like. They're going to come back from that. So that's first and foremost. If I do get a lead and I am available, hey, how did you guys meet? Here's my questionnaire. So I ask them for their email address, and there's a twofold to that. I keep their email address for future contacts. So what's your email address? I'm going to send you a questionnaire. The questionnaire is based on 5 or 6, 7 questions based on your day. What's your date? What's your date? What's your name? What's your fiance's name? What's the venue? Because that makes a difference. Massachusetts, I'm from Massachusetts. Massachusetts and Connecticut. Enfield, which is 20 minutes away, is the same price. Once you start getting into Putnam, Connecticut, and Melbourne, and all those other Connecticuts out there, you're adding a 2-hour drive to it. I'm sorry, it's not the same price. So with that being said, they fill out the questionnaire at the end of that. And it's also, how did you meet? Why not ask them how they met? A lot of my inquiries are coming from online right now, Match.com or whatever the other ones that they are, and that's fine with me too. So with that being said, I always go, once they go through the questionnaire, I get that back to me. Then I look at it and say, okay, that's well within my distance. I do have the date available. It's nice that they met this certain way. Oh, you know so-and-so, that's perfect. I send them back, hey, here's my package options. 4, 6, 8, comes with X, X, X. I would love to work with you. Remember, hiring your vendor for your day is just as important, not just as your budget, but having a vendor that fits with your personality and your vibe for your day. That's it. The rest is up to them. This is what the whole video is about. I was listening to Taylor Jackson on one of his videos that what happens when you do with, they say, we decided to go in another direction. That is a great question, and I want to address that right now. This is how I deal with it. The first and foremost, sometimes when you're waiting 3 weeks for a bride to get back to you, and I don't text every day, like every 3 or 4 days I'll send a little text, hey, I'm still available for your date. Are you still looking for somebody? Or are you all set? Just let me know. I would rather somebody say, hey Ron, your prices are not in our budget. I would rather have somebody say, your personality is not what we're looking for. Your work is not what we're looking for. But remember, if they've already checked out your website, they've already seen your work. So chances are it's not going to be that. It's probably going to be budget. Every 3 or 4 days, I will try and email them saying, hey, text them saying, hey, my software generator for 17 Hats tells me every person that opened up their email address. Okay? So I can send an email and within 2 days, I'll go back and look at it again and I can tell that they at least read the email. That tells me you're seeing it. If you're not replying back to it, or in the email it says, please text me. That's the quickest way to get back to me. So if after 1 week, 2 weeks, I'm kind of a glutton for punishment, I tend to go 3 weeks. Once I start to get the gist of, hey, you know what? They're not going out. I go into 17 Hats, archive that, so it saves all of their information, but they will not receive any more emails about that. So if you need to fill out the questionnaire and you're seeing that I'm getting a questionnaire, but you still don't click on that, that tells me they're just tire kickers, and that's okay, but that tells me they're not a genuine lead. So what I like to do is get a genuine lead that comes in. First of all, I'm thankful that the leads are coming in. I would rather get a lead to come in, question me, have a good conversation back and forth, and if I'm not a fit for your day for whatever reason, I'm glad that the lead came through. First and foremost, Taylor Jackson said the same thing. That tells you that your lead generator is working. Whatever the lead generator is, marketing, trucks, print, Facebook ads, whatever that is, word of mouth, no matter what it is, when the leads are coming in, even though you don't get them, you know the leads people are seeing. That's the most important thing. The next thing I want to talk about when you address another direction. I want to talk about the friends of the family when it comes to photographing weddings. I understand that. I understand the philosophy behind that. I get the whole thing. Once they realize the price tag that comes along with wedding photography, they tend to go to or try to go to find somebody either cheaper or find the Uncle Bob or Aunt Susie that has a brand new SLR or a mirrorless and they're just breaking into thing. I'm not going to poo-poo either way because all I can tell people that come to me is please, on your wedding day, go to my website, look at my work. If you want to see a previous gallery, come to my books, come to my studio. I'll show you my work. And then you want to see what other people have done. Compare them apples to apples. There's a price tag that comes along with professional wedding photography. There's just no other way about it. And if I'm not for you, no problem. So be thankful that the leads come in. When they say we decided to go eventually, when they say they decided to go in another direction, I do not ask why. Somebody else told me that I should. You want to know if they're going with a family friend or whatever. I feel like that's their way of saying, we're either not interested in your pricing, we're not interested in your work. Why go back and say, what was the reason? Because it could be 10 different things. It could be one different thing. It doesn't matter what it is. It really is a perfect personal preference. If I'm not part of your day, no problem. I send a text back or an email back. I said, no problem, no worries at all. I appreciate that. I understand where you're coming from. Enjoy life. Best of luck with your future and best of luck with your wedding, and keep my information for the future if you ever need family pictures, maternity pictures, or newborn pictures. So that's what I say. I don't go into the details of, hey, why? I don't need to know. There's a reason why you said no. I'm perfectly fine with that. So just remember that you are not for everybody. Sometimes there's either personality conflict. I'm very energetic, so sometimes that comes off as being talkative. And sometimes people are like, oh my God, that's just too much. Some people like that because they know that I'm going to come in and give you 110% and I'm going to knock it out of the park no matter what we do. Some people are at ease knowing somebody else is in control. When you as a vendor, whether it's a DJ, a wedding planner, or a photographer, you are in charge and control of that moment in time during your day. I want my bride to sit back and coast. What do you mean coast? What do you mean you don't want them to do anything? I want them to do nothing but enjoy their day. Prior to that, I'm going to do another wedding video on how to handle the itinerary of the day. So we'll go over that later on. But for right now, just generating that lead. If I'm not for you, I'm not for everybody. I understand that. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy life. Best of luck in the future. Keep my information if you ever need it in the future. That's how I come across and generate that time. Be thankful for the lead, whether you get the job or not. Be thankful for the lead because that means it's working. That's the most important thing. Second of all, be kind, be generous, be concerned, and be very, very, not empathetic, but be very, very genuinely concerned with what their needs are. Of course, I'd rather book that 8-hour package. But if you can only afford my 4-hour package, I'm going to come in and give you 4 hours of 110% of my quality of time. It doesn't matter. Some people don't even look at 4-hour packages. And I'm okay with that. I would rather go and do a wedding for 4 hours and then come home, be with my family for the rest of the day. I love doing 8 hours. I've done 12 hours. I've done 10. So every person has a different need for their day. So just remember that. So I want to cut this thing short. I want to just go back to you and say thank you very much for coming back to my channel. I appreciate it. Hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button. Keep coming back. I appreciate that. And I genuinely am just so grateful and happy for everything all the comments. Leave those comments below. Let me know what you do. If you do something different or you feel like I could tweak my package just a little bit or my response back to a bride and groom, by all means, leave it in the comments below. No problem at all. Thank you guys very much for your time. Appreciate it. I appreciate you. And remember, smile more because it does hurt less. Peace.